Hello everyone, welcome to another interesting episode of Your View. I am Mariah Afolabi Brown. As always, I have my lovely co-host here. Hi ladies.
Good morning.
Hi,
you look
Jimmy.
very pretty this morning.
Yes,
Thank you. The blue and red.
Are we already getting in
Hi.
Christmas mood? Red, green, everybody.
How you doing, Jumoke?
I'm doing very well. I needed rest, and so I cancelled everything that I had over the weekend and just took a short break. So because from today, the activities start again. We have a lot of things planned just before Christmas, but we thank God for all the rest and everything. Congratulations on the successful outing of the first
Of many.
yes, first.
Other room matter.
Sexually confident woman.
Yeah, so Topsy, how you guys doing and Uwa?
I'm very good. I want to wish my dad happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Mr.
Daddy.
Ewabella. Odubella.
Odubella.
Mr. Odubella.
I feel honored that he's my father. I am one of the few that can say that my father, I'm his only child, and very few men stay with their wife when they can have more children. And my dad stayed with his wife, and I feel that it's paid off because you have just one child and your child is doing well. Thank you, Daddy. God bless you. Long life and prosperity, good health. However, let me let you.
Well, how you doing? How was your weekend?
Amazing. I had a fantastic weekend. On Friday, we saw the First Lady. Saturday, I was all and about. I had a book launch. And on Sunday, we had the conference. Yesterday was amazing. The beauty about that conference was that people actually saw practical steps that they were going to go back home and immediately practice. So I'm hoping that for everyone that came, please, is important, because no matter how much knowledge you have, if you're not practicing it, you must do it for you to be able to see the results that we're hoping for.
May I say
Yes.
that when I saw the bed, I'm like, okay, this is improvement.
We had a bed.
We had a bed. I mean, when I said, I sent you ladies a text. I said, listen, this is one of the most impactful events I have ever attended before in my life, because I saw they took out all the men to go out. It was just us women, and there were people who were demonstrating, showing us what exactly.
I've been blue-red.
Oh my goodness!
I want to give a big shout out to Laide. Laide was
Oh,
amazing. MM was amazing.
All the
All our
people,
facilitators, they were really, really amazing.
I learned so
It's
much.
the first. We hope to do it because we want to liberate families.
You guys have to do it every. In fact, I think you should do monthly itself.
And yeah,
Thank you so
YKK,
Yeah.
YKK, thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
and the entire Afrobeats team.
Because there is a need.
Yes.
Jumoke. What I saw yesterday was that this thing, there's a need.
Old women.
Women.
Asking questions.
Somebody saying I've been married for 28 years. They're having this issue. So
Yes, old
this
women.
this matter is a serious matter, and I think you guys have started a good thing, and I think you should continue it. So I would suggest you make it as quarterly as often as possible,
Yeah,
because we can't wait till next year.
four times a
November.
year. Makes
yes.
sense.
So please start planning the next sexual
And
education
the
one.
more sponsorship you have, the cheaper it will become.
Yeah,
You'll need
yeah.
bigger
Well,
venues.
yes.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well done, ladies.
Well
Thank
done.
you.
We're proud of you.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to a quick break now. When we come back, look at the front pages of the newspaper. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Welcome back. We're going to start with the punch. Mixed reactions greet Akeredolu's victory. Buhari, Tinubu, Okorocha, others hail governor-elect. Governor Fayose, PDP condemn rigged election. My victory came from God, says Rotimi Akeredolu. Over 340,000 registered voters for Lagos by-election, says INEC. Apprentice absconds after employer's children, apprentice absconds with employer's children the day after resumption. Naira loses 85% of value in 2 years, says CBN. Militants bomb MPDC pipeline near gas plant. Buhari jailed me 18 months for being wealthy, says Anene. Recession, more workers take insurance cover against job losses. And Lagos residents waste 3 of 10 years in traffic, says report. Let's talk about the human angle, the apprentice.
Yeah, the young girl, they just mentioned her name as Grace. no other backup name or whatever, that she had come to this woman. The woman owns a salon, and she said that she wanted to learn the hairdressing, what's it called? Business. And the woman said, oh, does she have guarantors and all that? She now said no, that she came alone. She doesn't have anybody. She's staying with a friend nearby. And the woman said, okay. So I think she now accepted her. The next day, she brought drinks and biscuits and shared with everybody. They celebrated, which is the opening of her apprenticeship. So a day after that, after resumption, the children came back from school. The woman went to a hairdresser's meeting. This young girl said she was going out to go and buy food. And she now said, let the children were back from school, let them accompany her. She has a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old with her. And that was the last they heard of from the girl. Nobody has her contact. Nobody knows where she's from. Yes, nobody knows anything about her.
She absconded with the children?
She absconded with the children.
Two things, Morayo.
It's serious.
When you try to be nice to people, because that woman she was being nice. She was helping somebody out.
Who did you tell your husband?
She was helping somebody out, Morayo. So now people don't give money because of all funny things. Now you can't even help someone start a business. One, number two, somebody will say, what kind of business is she doing that she'll leave her children with somebody she just met? True. For me, my maid, I've changed maids in the past 8 months, twice. Yeah, sure. I take my children to school, we are at home together. If I'm leaving the house, my children are in my neighbor's house. One needs to be careful. You cannot be, there are a lot of evil people around.
We have to move on, but that's really,
I wanted to talk on the 3 years though. Lagosians spend 3 years, there's a research that Lagosians spend 3 years out of 10 in traffic. And that they're that there are opportunities to cut this. They intend to do a conference to address how
They've been addressing it though.
The conference is get towards finding a solution for proper rail systems, because they want to get a lot of cars off the road. Yes, get a lot of cars off the road.
And the bus system should work.
Yes, now when you spend 7 hours a day in traffic,
yes,
that's 3 years out of 10 years
of your life. And we keep saying that if we can also put a cost to it, not just number of years, a cost. We know how much Lagos State is even losing for people being in traffic.
Let's move on to The Nation. Jubilation as INEC declares APC candidate on governor-elect. Akeredolu, change is here. And here's a quote from him. I shall in few months be saddled with the task of providing responsible leadership. A leadership that will take our people from poverty and stagnation to productivity and prosperity, from pains and lamentation to joy and laughter. These are the broad statements we hear a lot.
All the time.
Specifics.
Please.
Okay. 1 dead, 30 shops, 16 vehicles razed in Ibadan. Troops killed 30 Boko Haram fighters in Gwoza ambush. Right. So, who read that story, the Ibadan crash? I read that. Yeah.
It was a Jigawa-bound truck, and it lost control in, I can't remember the name.
Okay,
of
actually,
Agungun place in Ibadan. You know, killing 8 people. It caught fire when it lost control. So 30 shops.
What I read actually was I was going to Kaduna. No, maybe what the paper you read said Jigawa, but I read it was
Nation said Jigawa.
Then it was a truck carrying wheat and biscuits that lost control and hit a truck coming from Lagos going to Ibadan, carrying diesel and rolled over, and there was somebody that was living underneath the flyover. He died, and the whole thing caught fire.
Sorry, it was a diesel truck that was Jigawa bound.
It was diesel that was Jigawa bound. Okay, moving on to the next paper, which is Vanguard. Ondo PDP AD cake as INEC names Akeredolu governor-elect. Senate makes U-turn, drops already cleared nominee. Army okays 8th Division for Sokoto. And crude, federal government plans 1,000 kilometers pipeline from Niger Republic.
The Kaduna Refinery is in the Kaduna Refinery Petrochemical Company. There's been issues. We followed the story since like about 2 weeks ago, where they said that they have not been able to, due to vandalism, they couldn't get crude oil from the south down to up to the north. And so the government has decided that they are going to do another pipeline 1,000 kilometers long from Niger, Agadem, that's east of Niger, and bring it down to Kaduna. There's different school of thoughts on this. I don't think it is the best decision. Everybody knows that you need to be close to the raw material as much as possible. If you have a 1,000 kilometer stretch of pipeline, it could easily still get vandalized. So there are other issues.
What are your chances? I mean, I think
they are still there.
Option.
They are kidnapping in the north now, so that can happen.
This school of thought is that from Port Harcourt to Kaduna is 700 kilometers. Why are you building a 1,000 kilometer
Because they keep blowing it up and you're losing money.
So if you're doing pipeline, except you want to be flying the pipeline in the air.
Maybe it's cheaper for you to actually monitor it from Niger Republic, because if you are losing so much billions and millions per barrel every day from that place to Kaduna, maybe you're better off just...
most people say that Kaduna refinery has always been a failed project. It's always, there's something funny about it. So I think that we should... It's not at this time that we should be spending money on this. Something that has
honestly, you guys make me laugh. You don't when something happens and government provides a solution, you're the same people that will criticize the solution.
The solution is worse than the problem.
How are you a technician?
The problem is that you have a 700 kilometer
and
pipeline that is being vandalized. You now say let's go and build the one that is even longer.
That could easily be vandalized because it will pass through Maduguri, Murai.
And you'll be importing
the crude oil.
Maduguri. Okay. All right. For me, it makes logical sense.
It will pass through Sambisa area.
That's why we're different. Me is logical, but you don't agree. That's fine. Moving on to the Daily Sun. It makes a whole lot of sense for me. APC cuts down Iroko in Ondo. 1 dead, 18 vehicles, 10 shops razed in Ibadan fuel tanker. And then he exposes PDP presidential race secret. Explosion rocks Delta pipeline up in flames. EFCC arraigned Justice Ofili Ajumogobia today. Biafra, I won't give up fight, vows Nnamdi Kanu. Yes, no story here.
APC, yeah.
Yes.
We're happy that the election concluded so fast. I'm surprised that peacefully, out of 4 million citizens, the turnout was really poor.
200,000
was really poor.
Terrible.
And I think we need to do 200, 100 and something.
It's less than 600,000.
Yes,
terrible.
We need to do more.
Wow.
And people are not inspired to step out to vote because they're not speaking the language they want. But I want people to know that if you don't step out, people that vote will determine who would rule you.
Anyway, we'll talk about it more in the Let's Talk segment. So let's not dwell too much on that. Our final paper this morning is This Day. Buhari's boys deliver Ondo, target Ekiti and Osun next. Really? I think APC is already in Osun. Is it me? Maybe I'm missing something.
APC is already in Osun.
Okay,
but they have to recapture.
Hold on.
And anyhow, Yoruba leaders opposed my ministerial job over June 12. Nobody read this on any story. UK opens fresh investigation of corrupt policemen involved in Ibori's trial. And presidency accuses National Assembly of frustrating 2017 budget submission. Who read that story?
And they were saying that the National Assembly has shown disdain for the medium-term expenditure framework and the TSP, which is the fiscal policy strategy, which is usually it's a 3-year framework. What we want to do in the next 3 years, you then break it down into each budget. But the National Assembly is saying all of this is empty because there's no
it's not worthy of legislative consideration.
It's empty because there's no backing information to what you want. They just said part of it is the loan of the 30 million, and they say just give. You say you want to do this. Give us information on what you want to do.
Okay.
We need a proper breakdown of how the money is going to be spent, not generalizing.
So, all right, that's all we can take on this one. On front page review. When we return, we discuss our interview with Mrs. Aisha Buhari on Friday. A lot of people, there were lots of questions. Why didn't you ask about the other room? Well, we'll tell you why. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Welcome back. It was an exciting interview with the wife of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Mrs. Aisha Buhari, last Friday, as she talked about her pet project, Future Assured, which focuses on women empowerment, malnutrition, and the girl-child education. We also got your feedback on the interview, and some had lots of reservations. Oh, why didn't you ask about the other room? Well, several reasons, and I think we wouldn't go into other matters, but the real thing is we're going to just discuss our experience with her as a person, what we enjoyed about the interview, and just your general thoughts. And maybe, yes, let me let you go.
I want to say why I didn't ask about the other room. And that is because I felt that the entire world has dealt with that issue. And as a person, if I feel I've heard of something, at some point we need to move away from it. It would have been taking us back if after we've seen someone doing so many projects that are good, we now take her back to discussing an issue that was already done with. I felt it would make more sense for me to spend the time I had to talk to her, to drill her on what she's going to do to better the lot of women and children in the society. Okay. That was my reason for not.
Let me let Uwa come in here before I let Jumoke go. So what are your thoughts generally? You don't have to talk about the other room. What are your thoughts generally about the entire interview?
Well, a lot of people sent me personal messages saying that they were really happy that, they saw Mrs. Aisha Buhari in a very different light from what the media had projected. So I think we did a fantastic job bringing our president's wife to the people, let people come to know her person, But for me, she already mentioned it. But you see, I don't like dwelling on issues that, I consider trivial. That was a matrimonial issue, as far as I'm concerned. The person I will still fault for opening the matter in the eye of the world was our president that opened the matter in the eye of the world. But she was mature enough not to even talk about it. But she mentioned something on Friday. She said that for the IDP camps, that all her relief materials and everything she gives to the people, everything, she monitors it from the bedroom. So I was now wondering, all the people asking for bedroom matter. Did you know she has answered you people? Except maybe you're waiting for something else. Because she has already said it that. So it tells you that she's hands-on, she's on ground, and she's watching it. And I keep saying this thing. Why I loved that statement in particular was because I keep saying that women are just fighting. The truth is that the power is inside the bedroom, whether you like it or not.
Okay.
But some women will just say, no, I don't have to be in the boardroom. In the bedroom, if I'm doing the right things,
you are controlling the boardroom.
I will control what is happening in the boardroom.
Now, so, anyways, let me come to Jumoke. What are your general submissions about the interview?
It was such an exciting interview for me because I have many unanswered questions. From even why didn't the interview happen in our studio? Because the studio is built for such. Our lighting was terrible because you can't carry all your studio lights into the State House. And then all your timing restriction of you have to come in at this time. You couldn't set up the studio the way. So I was looking at the pictures and I'm dark complexion. I've been on TV for 20 years. And one thing I always have problems with is the camera. If it's not well lit, it doesn't look good on a dark complexion person. Also, the amount of questions that I had in my head and the protocol officers around and the amount of strictness, they were practically standing on your neck and you're like, let me just
comport myself.
Let me just stay on my iPad and just be looking. I don't even want problems here. It was unnecessary. I tell you the fact, Mariah. You can never ever predict what questions you'll be asked per time. Who you need to focus on is your principal. You need to school them and educate them. If you are uncomfortable with any question, you can say no comment. Or you can, and most of our answers were very brief anyways. Even the questions that she was comfortable with. I liked her composure. She was very calm. She did not allow us rush her. She took her time. She knew what she wanted to give out.
You notice she kept looking at that lady.
Yeah.
Any questions you want to ask? Look at the words. So it was as if she wanted to say so much, but there was just so much.
She said to us.
She whispered to me.
She said to us that
they won't let me
speak. They won't let me speak. No, that they're restricting the amount of questions because the protocol lady said, ladies,
no
the president's wife would rather focus on issues rather on her personality.
Yeah.
So the president's wife now said to us that they know that I will say my mind.
Yes.
That's why they're not allowing
so because
the questions.
she wanted during the break, she really wanted to talk, but there were just so much issues. Yeah.
You see, uneasy lies the head that wears the crown. You would see it as she's saying her mind. Somebody else would see it as she's uncontrolled. We had the issue with our previous first lady, where former Patience Jonathan was going everywhere, saying whatever she wanted to say, making a lot of grammatical blunders and saying things that were aggravating to different sectors of the society. When you become the president's wife, you need to watch what you say. It isn't an easy or comfortable job. You don't have your own life. Yes, she would want to say her mind. Yes, she would feel restrained. But when the issue that caused the other room matter, people were saying, what happened? What were the handlers doing? What were they doing? How could they let her say such a thing?
They were not on that trip we have.
Do you understand? So right now they are having to control what is going on, which might not be convenient for her. And I saw how stressed she was.
Hang in there,
However, I think that the good job, because she said I felt that we brought something home to the people watching. They saw their first lady. We've never had such an interview where you'd get to see her like that. We made her relax. It was fun. And at the same time, we were able to know what she was doing. And she was able to tell us, and she was humble in front of us that I don't know much about girl child education. I'm willing to learn. For me,
and
that was...
She kept saying that her job is a support. That don't accuse me.
I don't have a constitutional
And she agreed that she's not constitutionally...
Excuse me. For a position that is unconstitutional, did you see the convoy? If she's constitutional,
she's the wife of the president. And there's something that I think I loved about that interview. The fact that, when she explained the process for that, because I'm a sucker for integrity. When she explained the process of getting those items and delivering it to the people, that there is no link. I thought that was amazing. And
people did not hear that. She said, tell them what she said.
When you get, we asked her for funding. We asked her, how does she get the funding? She said she doesn't need to fund because, of course, she understands the power to being the wife of the president. Influence. When she puts a phone call through to anybody and she says, okay, they're interested in supporting the IDP camps, she doesn't collect money from them. She tells them, you know what, there's a company that we have seen. Pay the money to the company's account. When you pay to the company's account, from the company, they deliver straight to the IDP camps or to the people that need it. And that is why she can say categorically that 85% of all the items received, they truly get to the people that need it. I think for me, that was a major thing. For people that are focusing on issues of the other room, we need to take our minds off all of those.
We move from that issue. The other thing is that pet projects. I think for me, it was just a reminder to me that maybe we don't need these pet projects really, because
you asked a very pivotal question that she could. No, Mariah's question to her was maybe we should leave pet projects. Let's just have a project that is for the wife of the president, and so regardless of who she is, this is what they are pushing. Because you start your own pet project, once you leave office, it dies. Another one will start. So we have pet projects of 3-4 years. Inconcurrently, the inconsistency and all of that. I was going to respond to you to say that yes, the wife of the president must always be comported at all times. Everything she says, you know how we always say that the president will go outside of the country and say things that will hit up the polity. It's the same thing with the wife of the president. We will think that you are representing your husband in whatever you say, so you must be careful. And I agree that she must be guarded, she must have handlers at all times. PR people who know, who can even guess.
Professionals.
Look, if I was handling a PR, I'll be expecting the other room question. Based on that was her first interview after the BBC interview. You'd have prepped her what she should say. It's not to say that I don't even go there
at all. But interestingly, let's talk about coming first.
You see, I think that I have a few questions concerning this, because as much as I like her, she's a very beautiful woman, sounds really calm and intelligent. I wondered that if for an unconstitutional position, how do we have, and that has no official budget, how are they paid? There was a retinue of staff, people that follow her everywhere. We need to ask this question because we are in recession. There was a banquet. I wasn't there. But the feedback I got was that there was too much
that was Lagos. No, we have,
and there was
we have money. We are the one hosting them. When we host, we have money in Lagos.
Don't when Lagos is hosting.
Yes. Was excess. I was there. I was like, oh my goodness, Jesus Christ. This is
it's our culture. Yoruba, you can't come and greet us and go empty.
Plenty chicken, plenty food, excess. Even towards the end, I said, Jesus Christ.
When you say things like this, the people watching that are hungry, we look at it and is this where Lagos State is spending money?
But I know Lagos has money now. Lagos is working for his money. But I wanted to say something. Shouldn't we have a first lady like a Michelle Obama?
What's the difference?
That is with the people that you talk, you come in, relaxing, we can dance, we can take a selfie, we can, there was just so much first lady, officer. There's just that why must it be that?
It's not a personality.
Let me explain.
I think it's the people around.
She's a northerner. You don't expect, no.
Don't say that.
You're
generalizing.
It's not generalization.
She's living with them, no?
She's a Muslim, and she's a northerner. when you see even my northern relations that are Christians, they don't jump up and down like that. They stay in one corner.
Me, I like the composure.
Maybe if we had somebody from Niger Delta.
Oh, Yoruba.
That was what happened with Patience Jonathan.
So I'm saying, but you see, what I wanted to even happen, what you said, I would love a situation where we have governance that is with the people. No more protocol. Nobody's trying to kill anybody.
Exactly.
The truth is that, let me tell you something, if you are a good person, if you're a good leader, you don't even need handlers.
At all.
Some US presidents, they finish from office and they go back to their streets. They don't have to go to any, what's it called? Inside Koro with big gates.
Maruwa, he just used to enter Lagos streets anyhow. He will come down from his car and say, who wants to kill me here?
I'm saying.
You gotta talk to him, governor. They never tower road though. You said, don't
They didn't
worry,
allow
I'm
us to
coming there.
take selfie. I mean, ordinary selfie. We do selfies all the time.
All the time.
Jumoke nailed it. PR professionals instead of what we have,
Prepare
like
her.
bureaucracy. We have bureaucrecy around her right
Is that
now.
how you do interview, you don't do interview. If you do
Exactly.
interview, be ready for anything.
If you do interview, be ready for any
Yes.
question.
All right, that's all we can say. But generally, we had a great time.
We had
It was
fun.
good.
Yeah.
It was
We
good
didn't
to
eat
meet
breakfast.
her.
We had to just mention this thing because
We didn't eat breakfast. They didn't
give us breakfast.
Yes,
You
they
imagine.
didn't have
It's
it,
an
yeah.
unconstitutional
For
as
justice.
we finish like this, they just whisk her away. I'm like, Jesus
She
Christ.
didn't even have. She couldn't even breathe.
Let's take
She
a break.
was, Morayo,
Let's
she
go.
seemed in prison a little.
No, don't go there. Let's take a break. We come back on those state elections. We're going to have a journalist in the house to tell us, help us read this
No
political
woman.
calculation that is
Not one.
happening. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. With the just conclusion of the governorship election in Ondo State, INEC declared the APC, the All Progressive Congress candidate Rotimi Akeredolu, as the winner of the governorship election, despite the call for postponement by the PDP. However, none of the Ondo contestants had a female running mate, yet a lot of women, especially the elderly name, came out to vote. Joining us on the show is a columnist, Mr. Fumi Komolafe. Welcome to the show, ma'am.
Thank you. Good morning.
You can call us on 070-806-68014. You can tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so you can read your tweets. The Ondo elections. Let's start with what happened concerning the INEC refusing to postpone, because PDP is now feeling probably cheated that, they didn't get an opportunity.
That they only had 2 days.
They only had 2 days.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that, or do you think it should have gone?
That's not exactly true. Because, number one, they knew that they went to court with an expectation. You don't sit down and fold your arms when you have an expectation. You work towards that goal. Secondly, information from what one gathered around there, they did house-to-house campaign. And at no time did INEC say, don't campaign. INEC didn't say that.
Stop campaigning.
So if they didn't campaign, then that's their own, but they did campaign. They did campaign. They probably just wanted more time, for
But
their
if
open
they were
campaign.
campaigning with Jimoh Ibrahim, and all of two days before, they now have a new candidate.
No, INEC never, even when Jimoh Ibrahim was campaigning, INEC didn't say Jegede don't campaign. They didn't say that. So nobody stopped Jegede from campaigning.
Okay.
And they did house-to-house campaign. They
Well,
did.
you cannot isolate the fact that because of that division,
Yes.
it would have what's it called, depleted the
Split
number
their
of
campaign.
the number of votes that they would have been able to muster as a party.
Jimoh Ibrahim, yes. Jimoh Ibrahim appeared like the star in this election. A star in quotes now. You may not like his style, but he actually cut the Iroko to size.
Yeah.
And there's a lesson in all of this, One is that someone who is not in government, who is just a party member, can, spoil the show of whoever is the incumbent. He was a spoiler. I think Femi Fanika, they described him as the biggest Judas. Maybe the biggest Judas in our politics. But then there have been so many Judases. But Jimoh Ibrahim achieved his aim. But you see, they knew that they were going to court to stop Jimoh Ibrahim. So there was nothing that stopped Jegede from campaigning.
Well.
Nothing.
Okay.
Okay, I wanted to take it away into female because we need to involve more women in proper political position. And sort of the past few years, it's been a culture sort of for APC, AD into AAC into APC to use female running mates as a way to say that we are involving the women in politics. So, but this campaign was bereft of female involvement, and yet we are the ones that control the vote. When I say we, I mean the women are the ones that control the number in terms of votes. Why did anybody not talk about this when it was in the campaign stage? Why are they talking about it now when the election has been done with? It's
a big surprise that it happened in the APC particularly. Other parties are not known to feature women prominently. But the APC that has done it in Lagos, you know, and is doing it right now, even in Osun and Ogun State, one would have expected that they would have had a female, you know, deputy governorship candidate. But don't forget that the House was not together, so to say. And so perhaps those who could influence that were not in the mainstream of what happened. And that might have been responsible for what we saw. Okay. But the women played a very decisive role, although a bit on the negative side for the winning of Akeredolu. When we get to that, I'll mention it.
Governor Ayo Fayose of Ekiti State, because he's a PDP member, said that the elections were already lost and won before the elections itself happened. And I said he should know, because the accusations he threw at INEC, that they removed Jegede's name, you know, he only came 2 days before, blah, blah, blah. They did not allow them really campaign the way they ought to have campaigned. It seemed much like the way he won, you know, in Ekiti State. What's your take on Governor Fayose's complaints about these elections in Ondo State?
That's expected. I mean, as a PDP member, he would talk along that line. But if we were to reverse it, let's ask, if it happened in Ekiti, will Fayose be defeated? Very unlikely. Very unlikely. Now, the truth is that, you know, whether we want to say it or not, money played a lot of influence in this, even this election.
You did not hear the campaigns for Gani, Edibo, Kesebe.
Kesebe. Yeah. No, they said, Mamo Misebe. Jegede Ashilajo me. That is, I'll collect my money and cook a soup, a pot of soup. Jegede will be governor next time. Do you get it?
But
Jegede is the PDP guy.
In the line of this money situation, I heard unconfirmed claims that shortly before the election, maybe the last major rally, that the current governor, Mimiko, took up a mic and said that if they voted for PDP, he was going to, once he resumes on Monday, he was going to pay back the 7 months being owed to all the... And I felt that, how can you say that openly, that you are willing...
That's an insult to the electorate. Because you had the opportunity all along. You had the opportunity all along. Ondo State is the only oil producer, or at that time, was the only oil producing state in the southwest. Mimiko had no reason to owe. And he didn't start owing now. Unfortunately, there was so much noise about that of Osun, but that of Ondo was also going on at that time. Primary teachers, and you had some that are actually couples, and they are not paid.
Imagine that.
They were not paid for months. So for you to stand up and say, okay, if you vote PDP, then tomorrow I will pay, they should have pelted him with a few stones so that he would know that.
We are not advocating violence.
No, we are not advocating violence, but at least to demonstrate that we're angry. You can't come and insult us.
Let me come to the issue of the electorate and this voting, because I get really tired of the same old promises from all the parties, AD, APC, all of them. They're saying the same thing. And I feel like, because we're trying to get people to understand what you should be demanding of these leaders, people don't get him to understand. So why do you think Akeredolu won that election? What exactly is he delivering? Is it about what he's delivering, or is it about the money politics? What was that factor that made him win that election?
No major factor. perhaps Naira,
Lobato.
and the federal might.
Lobato.
Oh yes. Because the difference in all these candidates is just the difference between 6.5 a dozen.
Lobato.
There's no ideology. They moved. Akeredolu himself, I hope you know that he was in ACN. Then he moved to CNPP. Oh yes. And that's why you find that all the 5 governors that camped themselves in Akure to back, maybe to give cash backing or no cash backing, whatever backing they gave, they're all CNPP, people that were in CNPP. So himself, he moved from ACN to CNPP. Mimiko moved from Labour Party and they destroyed that Labour Party completely to PDP. Right? Okay. Moved from APC because he lost in the primaries to AD. So what are you choosing for?
Political
People are merely looking for platforms to get power. And unfortunately, when people use this type of method to get power, they don't have a clear vision. They don't have a clear vision. They just want power for the sake of it. And then the electorate ends up the loser.
Yeah.
In Lagos State, and I think few states were really, really exposed. So we know what exactly we should demand from our leaders. Well, sadly, when you travel to other parts of the country,
where the people are majorly hungry.
you understand, and you see, I mean, it's just like, I keep praying to God that will we ever get to that point? So how do we, you know, change the minds of the people that would go and press their thumb? What are the things that we can do practically?
There's a lot that we can do. I think a major problem we have, most of us that live in the cities, most of us, I'm not talking of those of us who are born and bred in the cities, but people who migrated, so to say, they have a duty to educate and inform their people back home properly. Tell them what is expected. Now, one would have thought that, I'm not saying that, I mean, Akeredolu didn't win, yes, he won, he's the governor-elect, but the story should have been, look, collect the money, go and sebe, go and cook your soup, okay? Vote according to your conscience. Listen to them when they campaign. And again, when they campaign, is there an opportunity? Do we have opportunity to ask questions?
They're just singing and dancing.
So it's always a monologue. Somebody is talking, they are singing, they are dancing. You can ask questions. And then some people are hailing. And the crowd is usually,
terrible.
You know, cash and carry crowd.
Let's take
That is it.
Let's take a break. When we come back, we still have our guests with us. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Well, welcome back. Now, Mr. Kamalafa, Ondo State has a lot of enlightened people and educated. They are actually politically conscious in that state. Really? And there are 4 million people, and only about what 600,000 came out to vote. Why? So those who actually could have swayed the votes for an intellectually capable leader stayed at home. So it was just the people that came out. So it's like, why are they staying at home? Is it that people just are giving up in the system, or what exactly is the issue?
Disappointment, because people just, I mean, I spoke to somebody on the day of the election, an elderly woman. She said, look, what am I going there to do at my age? I'm not interested. They have never fulfilled the promises. And so that's the type
voter
of
apathy.
That's responsible for voter apathy generally. And the Mimiko thing was a very big disappointment because they, you know, when Mimiko was to be elected, it was Iroko, everybody thought the Messiah had come. But now when he began to owe salaries, projects not concluded, a lot of things, you know, and the people were not happy.
Not typical of the politicians.
Although to his credit, I mean, the Matana BA or whatever, that project was very successful because he's a medical doctor, maybe.
Okay, let me take Chisom. Chisom, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Okay, very quick one. For me, I have a different view about all these things.
Okay.
Number one, APC just won elections, Edo and Ondo back to back. And on each of those occasions, the president went to those states to campaign for APC candidates. And one thing he always tells them is, a vote for APC candidate is a vote for me. And by that statement, he's still trying to instill hope in the people that despite the recession, I still have plans of what I want to do for you. And I think for these people to still go on and vote APC in this time means there is still that shred of hope that the president may somehow, you know, wave a magic wand and something will happen and things will get better. And my prayer for the president is that I don't know how he's going to do it, but that God will give him the strength and the mental capability to do it. Because
thank you, Chisom. I want
there
you
are
to
already 4 steps here and there.
Thank you,
But then-
Chisom, for that. Let me let you respond to what Chisom just said. Do you agree with him?
To an extent, that people still have a ray of hope. But again, if we have to conduct a poll now, how popular is Mr. President?
Exactly.
But when you
Because
say-
it's
when you
12%.
say- the way you even say
Thank
it,
you,
to,
laughing.
to an extent. Because if we conduct a poll now, if PMB, by the time he was elected, if the rating was, say, let's say 90 or 80, now
It's less.
But I want to-
Hang
less
it.
than-
Well, let's
Oh, I
welcome.
just
Let's
wanted
welcome
to,
in.
okay.
Back to the Iroko factor.
Yeah.
Because I have relatives, my mom grew up in Ondo State, and I have relatives that still live there. And they were really positive. They went against the norm to vote for Labour Party simply because they were voting for Iroko. He had massive followership. So where did we miss it? Some people say that it's because he moved to PDP. Some are saying that he didn't fulfill the promises they were expecting.
It's governance now. He was there 8 years doing what?
It's a combination of both.
Okay, let me let you
It's
pause
a
for a second.
combination
man.
of both.
I have this call. I don't want to lose this call. Laja Martins, are you there? I'll let you respond.
Yes, I am.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
What is happening in Ondo State and what happened in Ondo State exemplifies what goes on in Nigeria or what is going on in Nigeria. Is a mini Nigeria that you are seeing. A lot of tradings and money exchanging hands and things like that. This is Nigeria that you have seen in Ondo State. That is the situation in the country. The situation is in disarray. NP new, PDP new, all this. There is nothing for the Ondo people. I'm telling you. There is nothing for them. And that is what is happening presently in Nigeria. Everybody in this country is looking for, yes, what is there for me? What is behind? Everybody is looking for the fear of the unknown.
Thank you very much, Laja Martins. Let me come back to our guest. You're responding to Tokwe.
Maybe we should. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that, you know, because if you look at it, what the trend is, I believe why Edo State and, what's it called? Ondo now is now being governed by APC is because the Central is governed by APC. A lot of times, the promises that the president will go to such places to make is because, oh, you know, we are in charge now. That was a promise we also harped on in Lagos. But the good thing is that we have a progressive governor. The thing is, why do we always have governance that if the center is APC, then usually elections that are happening around that time will be geared towards that center?
Is INEC not going to align with the person who is paying their...
Let's not make INEC
Right, no, it's not INEC issue.
Let me let our guest speak.
You know what I'm saying? That because a lot of governors say that it is they cannot work well with an opposing central.
No. I disagree with you vehemently. Okay. Don't forget PDP. That the Southwest, all along, even when their party was not in Abuja at the federal, they consistently remained where they are. The Southwest, and a good part of the Southwest.
Yeah. Lost 5 states.
Wait. Let's go back into history. Yeah. When the MPN was in power, it was the UPN in the Southwest. When it was NRC or whatever at the center, it was SDP. So the Southwest, that's why I said I disagree with that. However, what has happened in Ondo, as I said earlier, is a combination of factors. Mimiko betrayed trust. People voted for him on the platform on Labour Party.
And then he moved.
And there was this joke that he was Labour Party in the morning, PDP at night. Only for that thing to manifest. You know, when he moved fully. Then he moved in and destroyed or dismantled the PDP structure there.
Yeah.
Two things. Secondly, he did not meet the expectation of the people. Unlike Edo. Edo, where, that's why I said the president going to speak is immaterial.
Yeah.
People are looking, don't forget that voting is for the state, it's not for federal.
Yeah.
Mimiko did not deliver Ondo to Buhari, to Jonathan. He lost.
Yes.
So in the case of Edo, the vote was for Shomole.
It wasn't for...
It was a thank you vote.
Yes. Okay.
However, don't forget that APC, divided and none, desperately wanted to take Ondo. Yes. Because and for some time now, they hadn't taken Ondo.
Unfortunately, we have to sign out.
Everything was put in place.
Thank you very much. I think we learned quite a bit from you. Thank you so much.
Open your eyes.
Shine your eyes.
Yes.
They're going to be elections going on in Lagos very soon. So anyway, let's take that's all we can take on the show today. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a lovely day. Bye-bye.
Bye.